Yeah, he does amazingly in prison, which is great. They said that he's a far better pitcher in prison than he was in the big leagues. And not just he's doing better, like he has more control and shit like that. Yeah, he's older. Okay. It never takes people a few years to take control of a super crazy fastball. Quote, he's picked up a good change of pace, a good change up, and he isn't half as wild as he used to be. So he's just got more time to work it, and he does not out drinking every night. He's actually working on it and coming up the next day working on it more, rather than getting shit-faced and waking up and stumbling in the park. He also pitches for Represa and Tehachapi prisons. I've heard of those before. They might not be around anymore. In October of 55, pitching for Represa, his stats at that point in the middle of the season for them was 3-0 with a 1.03 ERA, 40 strikeouts, 8 walks. That's great. He's wrecking shit. That year in 55, he was 11-0 with 0.75 ERA, 232 strikeouts, and 26 walks.
You would have so many millions of dollars today.
Shit, in 143 innings. So he's averaging almost 2 strikeouts an inning and averaging basically 10 strikeouts to every walk, which is obscene and unheard of. That's fucking nuts. He's also getting in a shitload of trouble because he's a moron. He starts making, he starts drinking homebrew that he made. He's gambling. He's in jail too. He hustles so crazy. He hustles. He's just looking for something. He gets transferred out of his office clerk job. And he says, quote, I worked in the ice house and next door was the butcher shop. We kept food for the officers in the mess and I was stealing meat from the butcher shop and cutting it up. I had made a knife to cut my meat with. It was never inside the grounds. It was hidden way up in the louvers. You had to climb up on a compressor to get it. Somebody snitched me off. He was in trouble for having a knife. And all the other people he talked to were like, he's full of shit. That was a fucking, he used to tussle people all the time and they want to fuck him up. So he needed to arm himself to keep people from stabbing him. That's how it worked. I'm sure that was a secondary thing, but it's also to keep him getting stabbed, getting ventilated by somebody. So, 1956, he had a 1.08 earned run average, hit over 400. 1957, he leads the prison league in RBI and ERA, so doing pretty well. 1959, he sends a letter to Baseball Digest, and it's to a public, I want to be in baseball again. Oh boy. And he says, it's titled, I served my time, now I want to pitch again.
Oh, no, you haven't?
Yeah. More than he's trying to get parole every year, too, because he's up for parole after like 10 years or 9 years. So he says, well, to begin with, I was convicted of first-degree murder in December 1949 in Los Angeles and sentenced to life in prison. I've now served 8 years, 9 months, and 3 weeks, and will be eligible for parole in January 1959. I've been a member of special counseling groups for the past 18 months, and I honestly feel like I have a fine insight into my problem. Baseball-wise, I played for 8 seasons in the institution, San Quentin, Folsom, and now Tehachapi. I have been named the most valuable player in 6 different leagues, and have been independent armed forces, and have beaten independent armed forces teams made up for many ball players from professional ranks. I am now 32 years of age as of last August, and I know I've lost something off my fastball, but I feel like I'm a much better pitcher now than I was in majors in 1948. 2 years ago at Folsom, I pitched a no-hitter against a team managed by Woody Cohen, striking him out 3 times. My overall pitching record for the last 8 seasons is 131 wins, 35 losses, 240 walks, 1,565 strikeouts, and a 180 earned run average. Pretty goddamn good.
Yeah, but he's pitching his cons.
Yeah, he said during the 8 seasons, I played almost a third of the games at shortstop and have led 3 different leagues in hitting. So on the days he wasn't pitching, he played shortstop. He was doing Dave Davis to play right field. He wasn't pitching for the Red Sox. He was the Yankees. It's fucking wild. He said I was refused to reinstate him to pro ball in 1957 by Commissioner Ford Frick on the grounds that he would allow no man on parole to play organized ball. However, I kept writing him, and after his decision on the Ed Bushi case, he told me that if I had legitimate offers from professional clubs, he would take my re-entry under further consideration. I'm sure now he will rule in my favor. I was declared a free agent in June 1955. In 1957 and 1958, at the time of my appearance before the parole board, the Sacramento club would have taken me once. I will have no trouble looking up with the team when the time comes to get my parole. I want to thank all my friends on the outside who never gave up their faith or lost confidence in me. So his parole was denied again in 1958, but a psychiatric evaluation on December 18, 1958 made a strong case for his release, and the report here stated examination revealed a rather gaunt, friendly man with a dynamic type of personality, and he is let out on January 6th, 1960. So he didn't even
11 years.
Didn't even do 11 years.
First-degree murder.
First-degree murder, like in commission of a robbery.
Holy shit.
That is fucking wild.
Well done, California.
He said when he left, the only freeway in LA was Pasadena. When he came back, there was the harbor in Hollywood, and they're building others. He said his dad told him to come over and go to dinner, and he said it took him, he couldn't find it. He didn't know the new roads. Yeah. He said, here's what you do. You take Harbor to the Hollywood. When you get down to the interchange, be careful because you get over to the Hollywood side. Jesus Christ, I drove around like crazy. I should have parked and walked. I should have called the cops and asked them to drive me over there, but I finally saw his off-ramp. So, yeah, he says that he spent his first week out catching up with his family. His wife remarried, and her new husband formally adopted his son as he was in prison. Jesus Christ. He said they were still in touch, and he would take his son places and do things and shit like that. He said that I was happy for him. He says he was a fine man, but I didn't want to cause any problems. Okay, he's like, I don't want to deal with that anyway. I don't have to pay for him, right? Okay, fine.
Is there a problem?
Great deal. 1960s, plays with the Sacramento Stars. Sacramento, obviously. Plays up there a little bit. He misses his parole officer meeting, shows up a day late to parole, which isn't okay. His new parole officer sent a teletype saying he violated his parole. They found him getting into his car in front of his girlfriend's house. He said he was planning on driving back to Sacramento to see his parole officer, but he hadn't asked permission to visit LA because he'd been afraid they'd refuse him to go. So he ended up in LA County Jail for that. Back in there, parolees need permission to leave where they are, the area. While he sat in jail here, this is all happening. He spoke with baseball people, and they all said that if Blackie didn't keep pitching, he would destroy his chances for a pro comeback. So the LA parole officer was also concerned about all this sort of thing. So the only thing he was worried about, though, is that he was hanging out with several ex-convict and gangster buddies. Like, if you let you out, you're not going to do that, right? And they said, by the way, you're hanging out with your girlfriend, Irene, is a married woman, too. So you're doing all sorts of shit that's not okay. Her husband was away in the military. Oh, my God. So, yeah, after 3 weeks in the LA County lockup, they brought him back to Sacramento. He failed to get any of the jobs his parole officer had told him that he was going to start. He didn't get any of them. He ended up working as a cleanup man and a janitor at a bar, which also had a semi-pro baseball team. So that was that. So he ended up playing there. He kept moving around and failing to get permission to move from his parole officer. Finally, he was tracked down while he was shacking up with his current girlfriend, a woman named Nancy Black, who had a 17-year-old daughter also living with him there. Yeah. It's a fucking mess. He said, I got out of prison. The thing you're supposed to get out of it, that you're not going back. But I retained my temper for years. I had a hair trigger temper. I didn't get into any legal trouble up there, but there are those kinds of things where you walk into a beer joint and you have a beer. The guy comes in, sits next to you and has a beer and sets down his can a little too loud for you or something, so whack.
What? That's literally literally never
a
happened
little
to
too
me.
loud for you, so you hit him. Or you look down the bar and a couple guys are talking, and one of them happens to look at you, so you go down there and say, you have something you want to say to me? He's the guy in the fucking bar that does this. This is that guy. This is that guy. April 15, 1961, he signs with the Hawaii Islanders. What? The Hawaii Islanders.
He's going to Hawaii.
On Hawaii. Yeah, he sends a letter to Fort Frick to try to get reinstated. So they are expected to reinstate him because other people have been reinstated. He's kind of right along the line here. He has an all right time in 1961 here. He pitches 6 games, 1 and 2, 21 innings pitched, 5.14 ERA. Not exactly person, but he's also 35 years old,
Right.
which is losing it a little. He's released on May 13th, 1961 by the Islanders. March 1962, he signs again with the Islanders. He's working on a knuckleball now, which means his arm is fucked up. That's what pitchers do when your arm's fucked up.
Need some gadgets.
Pitchers who can throw 95 don't bother with that. April 12th, 1961, he pitches a complete game.
Oh.
6-hitter versus the Vancouver Mounties. Now he ends up being released eventually here. Yeah. So anyway, he ends up, we'll just say he ends up with a 9mm Luger at some point in the mid-60s.
Yeah.
Okay. He says, quote, I just drove around and sat in the car at night in parks and drank. I thought, bullshit, I ain't going anywhere. Do myself in. That's what he said. I'll fuck myself up. So at 5 p.m. on December 30th, Blackie showed up at his ex-girlfriend Jean's job as she was getting off of work.
The married girl.
A different girl. Shit-faced drunk with a Luger.
Yeah.
He told her that he wanted to talk, and they got into the car. As she was driving them to her house, he pulled out his gun and said he was planning to kill himself. Now, Jean drove around in circles for about a half hour.